Hey, welcome back to Survival on Purpose. I'm Brian, and this is the fifth installment of our DMR, or Designated Marksman Rifle series, where we take this Midwest Industries 308 AR style rifle, try to get it set up to be effective at both long ranges and shorter distances. And I'm trying to make these videos kind of in one step at a time, so to speak. So video one was the rifle itself. Video two, which I kind of reinserted into the series, was installing this rifle speed adjustable gas block. Video three was the Gunner 2x12 Thor scope, and video four was the XS sights 45-degree offset backup sights. Probably gonna have to start making a list of this so I can remember. Anyway, today video five is going to be we're going to talk about this Accu-Tac. What is this? This WB-4 bipod. We'll show how you install one of these, and kind of talk about why I picked this one and what I think is so great about it. And we're going to do that in just a minute. But first, today's words of wisdom from the Bible, as usual. It's from Psalm 18, verse 2 in the NLT version. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my Savior. My God is my rock in whom I find protection. He is my shield, the power that saves me, and my place of safety. And, of course, a big thanks to my friends at XS Sights, like these offset sights, for being the only sights that I trust my life to on any pistol that I carry every single day. I was a paying customer for years before XS Sights reached out to me to see if they could be a sponsor of the channel. And since I trust my life to them literally every day, I said yes. So XS Sights are the fastest sights in any lights. They're made in the USA, just by a bunch of great folks. And if you have any kind of opportunity to use any kind of a code in dealing with XS Sights, if you use SOP15, you'll probably be glad you did. So that's it for the administrative part of the video. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes here. So we're going to install this Accu-Tac WB-4, because I had to write the model note down. There's several of them on here, and I'll tell you why I chose this from the stuff in just a minute. But first, something we got to do before we can install this. This has a Picatinny rail mount on it, and it's also available, by the way, with Arkham rack mounts. But I chose the Picatinny rail because that's what I got. The rifle itself has M-lock handguard, so but there's no rail on bottom of it. So we're going to have to install a Picatinny rail on here so we can install the bipod on the rail. Now, just in case you had that question, just a little bonus installation here. It's not going to be a big deal, but I thought it'd be worthwhile to show you, just so we can be completely thorough with everything. So I'm going to give you some close-ups here, zooming in, and it will. I'll show you how to stick this thing on. It won't take but a second, and then we'll get to the tripod. But first, I think it's real important, as always, just to point out that we're unloaded the bolts back, and we're unloaded there. Not clean, but unloaded. So we put this in here and kind of get it set up. I did it this way. I can barely miss the scope, and then we'll just clamp that down just for a minute. Now, so I've got the bipod, got the Picatinny rail. I just chose a short section because that's all you need for this. So, got the M-lock Picatinny rail section here, and the bipod. And the first thing to determine is where do we want to mount this, because we got several options, right? So my goal would be to get this bipod as far forward as possible, because that's going to give you the most stability. But you don't want to have it too far forward, because this thing right now has a flash hider slash, I guess it's a muzzle brake on it. It's going to put some gas out, so you really don't want that blowing on your rubber feet or whatever feet you have on there. And I just want to keep it back just a little bit anyway. I'm probably gonna put I am gonna put a silencer on here, but still, just so it's no worries with it being out too far. Just kind of, that's right past just this side of the muzzle. So anyway, here's the M-lock rail section. And if you're not familiar with this, I thought I would just give you a quick little bonus lesson about how to install these. I took the bolts out. As you can see, this bolt's got a little, on the bottom of this little T-nut, they call it. It has a shoulder there that will cause it to lock into the groove. So it's wider this way, obviously, than the groove, wider this way than the groove, so that just allows it to turn over and still catch. So we're going to put these in now, and the one thing I always recommend doing is to put a little bit, just a dab of Loctite. I like the blue 242 blue because it will come back off if you need it to, but it's going to hold it in place. So you get a Q-tip, put a dab on here like so. It doesn't take much, and then just get the nuts started. And just do that with both of them. So anyway, first of all, since we decided we're going to put the bipod about right here on this little break between the second and third slot, we're going to mount this across both those, the second and third slot. So the way you do that is you line up these two T-bolts, so they're T-nuts, whatever you call them, so they're parallel with the slots. Then you just drop it through there. When you get it through, you kind of make sure it's seated down in there very well. And then best practice is to push it all the way forward in the slot so that when you're under recoil, you're pulling back against a joint that's already tight. You don't have any room in there, a gap for it to start slipping. So the next part is really the only tricky part, and you just got to make sure that you turn this thing enough so that those slots stay in there. So the wide part is now perpendicular to here, and then start tightening it. And I usually try to do them both kind of simultaneously, one at a time. So they because you only got to get it up in there far enough where the bolt's just not spinning, the nut's not just spinning on the bottom like this one is. So kind of pull it up a little bit, let it till it catches, and then let it pull itself down. Can you see that? Hopefully that makes sense. It's not really complicated. It's easier to do than it is to explain. So I don't have the torque settings for this M-LOK, but I'm just gonna give it the old redneck torque and make it tight. I am a proponent of torquing things to the proper specifications, but at the end of the day, at some point in time you kind of get a good feel for it. So I think we're pretty tight there. It's pretty solid, and it's where I need it. So now all that's left is to mount this, and if you'll notice, there's two little rails in there, little tabs that fit into the slots on the Picatinny rail, and then this thing, as you turn it down, it clamps down. You can see it squeezes that shut. So you want to make sure it's tight enough. Hold on a minute. We're going to interrupt the video to correct a doofus move on my part, and maybe it'll help you if you had the same problem. So let me just show you. I noticed when I was doing this that my clamp, when it was tight, was kind of interfering. You see that interfering with the can. There's the clamp, and when I try to can it, it's hitting right there, right? So it's pretty easy to change the direction of how this thing tightens. You just squeeze it in, pull it out, and turn it 180 degrees. Now it's going to tighten that way. You see that? See it tighten that way now? But when you do that, it might be too loose at that point. So the way to correct that, if it's too loose, is to open it up, push it in, and you may have to take an Allen wrench and just loosen this nut up just a little bit. But you can see it's got some little teeth. Can you see those little teeth in there? And this is notched in here. It's kind of like a hex. So you just turn it a little bit and then let it go back in. Now it's going to tighten up tighter. So you might have to do that a couple times to get it how you want it, but that's the way you do it. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that just in case you had the same doofus issues I had. Alrighty then, well, we got the doofus moment out of the way, and it's really a good idea, I think, to show you that because I didn't cover it when we did the install, and it's something that probably is a pretty common thing that you might want to know. So I guess this is a good thing that I'm a doofus sometimes. However, that being said, let's talk about real quickly why I think Accu-Tac is a good choice for this, and then we'll get to the specs. And by the way, just to be completely transparent, they're not paying me or anything. They did send me this bipod 4 to 6 years ago. I don't really remember how long ago, but it's been several years now for me to test out. And so I've been testing it sporadically on different rifles for that time. I've had zero problems with it. The only issue I had was I lost one of these feet, I think on a hunting trip, because I didn't have it Loctited on, which they say to do on their website if you're going to be going out in the field with it. Other than that, 100% rock solid. Google Gemini says it like this: they're some of the most stable, indestructible gear on the market. They're made in the USA, and they have something no other bipod company in the world has. They have Susie in their department there, and they have the best customer service because of Susie that you've ever seen. So that being said, let's talk about the specs of this thing and kind of show you how it works and some of the features that are pretty cool. So it's 100% billet 6061 T6 aluminum with high strength steel hardware. As you would expect from something that is solid. I mean, this thing is, by golly, it is solid. It has 4 leg angle positions, and we'll just go over those real briefly. There's one, the kind of just stowed. And by the way, I've seen people with them facing backwards. This is the proper way to mount the bipod. So the first position is going to be, I'm going to do it just to show you what it's going to be, 45 degrees forward. The second position is going to be 90 degrees straight up. And the third position, it's going to be 45 degrees back. And if you didn't see that, the way that is adjusted is you pull them down, got a little detent, and you move them to the next notch. And just look at the size of those notches there. I mean, those are rock solid. So it says they have 5 height adjustments. I got 6, but so maybe they're not counting it completely down. But if you, all you got to do to adjust the height is just pull them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's as far as it goes. Pull them out. Okay, so that's how it works. Let's talk about the specs real quick. So as far as minimum and maximum heights and spread, because that might be something that you need to know. So your minimum height above the ground, so as low as you can get this thing, is going to be on a 45, and the legs as short as they'll go. And they're saying that is 4.5 inches. And I think where they're measuring to is to the center of the pivot here. So depending upon your setup, your barrel bore height is going to be a little higher than that. In this particular case, the bore height it is about 6 inches at 45. That's the minimum height, bore height of bore above surface. The maximum height, which is going to be at 90 degrees, obviously, is 7.5 inches, and to my bore, I'm showing about 8 3/4. So from here down, and it weighs 22.08 ounces. Alrighty, well, I think that's probably everything that I can think of to tell you about this bipod, this Accu-Tac WB-4 bipod. It's just rock solid. I'm very, very satisfied with it. And in my opinion, a good bipod is an essential component of a rifle that's designed for what a DMR is, for longer ranges, and still to be effective at shorter ranges. It's kind of designed to be a combat style, carry in the field. You're not going to carry around sandbags with you for what this rifle is designed for. I don't think it's not effective. You can deploy these, pull them up when you're done, and you're good. So that's it for, I guess, episode 5 of the DMR designated Marksman Rifle series. Stay tuned because we got some more coming up really soon. We're going to put a silencer on here and talk about the silencer and show you some range footage of that. And I'm going to change this trigger. This Midwest Industries rifle has a good trigger. It's a good straight mil-spec trigger, but I've actually got a Midwest Industries drop-in 3.5 pounds single stage trigger that is the same trigger that came on my Tactical Response 25th anniversary AR-15 that I took through the fighting rifle class, if you saw that video. And it's a single stage trigger, but it's a little smoother. So anyway, we're going to try that and drop that in here, see if that'll help improve the accuracy, my accuracy, just a little bit. And then what else? For sure, we're going to paint this sucker. We're going to try to camo it up, and that may be it. And then we'll have to take it to the range, obviously, and see what we can do with it. That being said, I really sincerely appreciate you watching this video. If you're one of the few people who do, hopefully it's helpful to you. And remember, survival's not an accident. Be prepared. I'll see you next time.